Today's story is titled, What Answers Are Spun by Spidersilk by Telrie. The link to the story is in the description below. Please enjoy. There once was a powerful queen named Reina IV. She reigned over her colony with great wisdom, earned from many, many years. It was said that each queen that ruled this colony lived twice the time her mother had before her. This very colony, with its many soldiers and workers, had easily destroyed all those who thought to challenge Reina IV. One such loyal, loving soldier was Florin 42. Florin 42 was still young, having finally graduated from squiredom only 2 moons prior. Her red shell was glossy and clean, pristine from her diligent cleaning, of which she had such pride. Clean and smooth, lacking the scars her experienced sisters wore. 2 moons a soldier, diligent and proud. Florin 42 puffed out her chest. She stood extra tall. She hoped to look impressive, all for the little workers who gazed at her in awe. "Congratulations, Florin 42!" chittered one small sister, a worker, her arms busy with a bundle of cut leaf. "We knew Florins 41 and 43 could do it," chirped another, her mandibles moving excitedly. "That batch was blessed, it seemed," agreed the third, hurrying by the other 2, a wriggling babe in her grasp. Florin 42 shook lightly, giddiness filling her body in such a way that she felt like she drank a droplet of stinging rain. Buzzing, energetic, nervous. Today especially so, for today the moon's eye was closed. The scorching night was gentler this evening, as it was every time the moon blinked. When the light was gone, and all must travel the roads of scent, leaving the roads of sight aside, tonight was special. Tonight was blessed. Tonight was the night of asking, and Florin 42 had been assigned to be one of the many guards for Asker 84. Florin 42 had fidgeted and shook in the cramped slumber chamber she shared with her many, many sisters, hardly sleeping at all that day as she pondered. "How?" she thought to herself. "How am I to sleep when I will see the asking this very night? I cannot." So tonight she marched with her sisters, dutifully staying in formation as they led the way. Florin 42 so dearly wished to look behind, to see if she could catch sight of Asker 84, or the great and mighty leaf bundle of gifts for the sisterhood. Instead, she tried to stay vigilant, to be a good soldier to protect her betters. It seemed like many, many hours had gone by as they marched the field of towering flower stalks that made up the sunflower glade. Her toes tired from walking the dirt that still stung from the glower of the previous day, but soon their destination was within sight. Her bravery wavered for a moment as they ventured into the fabled stone forest, as the scent of stale earth gave way to those that were far more sour, far more oily. An overturned stone tree, fallen long ago after crumpling under its own cursed weight, marked the entrance to the den where the ceremony would take place. Sticky, shimmering strands of web drifted from twigs or branches, abandoned or broken away from some greater whole, stood as signs of their hosts. Florin 42 stood to attention with her sisters once they'd gone deep into the den, her eyes struggling to assist in identifying this strange cavern. The walls were sticky with a vast amount of webs, though they were haphazardly affixed in place, completely devoid of intricate design, discarded with hasteful apathy. Florin 42 felt a surge of excitement return as she saw the little body of Asker 84 pass her by to stand in the center of the cavern.
"Enlightened Spinner, we have returned for the answer of the last moon's asking,"
came her warbling tone. At first, there was nothing. No sound nor sight to give the implication that Asker 84's words had reached anyone. Florin 42 shuffled in place, earning a correctional jab from her elder sister's antenna beside her. How could she stay still? Tonight was not just a night of asking, but it seemed it was a night of answering. Florin 42 was ecstatic. This was a historic moment. There was a scraping sound far above, before a dark mass slowly lowered down towards them. It was the largest, most beautiful spider Florin 42 had ever seen in her life. By the burning sky, it was perhaps the first and only spider she'd ever seen, but she knew it must have been the most beautiful. Many, many eyes slid to look at the tiny being that stood so proudly, so politely, mandibles coiling and ringing around themselves. "Yes," came his voice, rich and low, dripping like melted sand. "We can give you your answer, little ant." 7 legs met the soft dirt, though at any given time one would lift and settle in an endless dance of restlessness. The spider gently nudged a little bundle, which Florin 42 strained to see into, and procured the shiniest, most dazzling, finest shiny sand Florin 42 had ever seen in her entire life. With a twitchy grandiosity, the spider motioned to the nearly invisible web behind him. The strands were in no way suitable for catching prey. Many were too loose, too taut, too bunched up, or too far apart in gaps even she could fit through. It was a web of indiscernible madness. The spider flicked up the shiny sand, dusting the air in a shower of sparkling insanity, dancing and twisting until it caught within the useless and grand webbing, catching what tiny amounts of light existed this night. The spider twitched, a hum that sounded like sweet tree sap spilling from him as he gazed upon his web of lights that held a language the ants could never hope to learn. "I have your queen's answer, little ant, but first, my gift." His voice dripped with hunger, breathy with urgency. Florin 42 shuddered, seeing the spider's eyes sweep over her, as though she were nothing, to land greedily upon the great bundle meant for him. Asker 84 lifted her antennae, motioning for her workers to bring the bundled food forward, the contents within shifting around with every uncertain step of the aged worker ants that supported its great heft. A fluid dripped from the maw of the spider, catching the light in the same way his sprawling web had as well, smelling of sourness and sting. Florin 42 felt her stomach flip as the bundle was opened, and within was not the food she'd presumed. No, for within the bundle were dozens of little ones, squirming and blind, their pale white flesh pulsing as they now felt the air's stale caress in place of the bundle's sheltering embrace. dozens of little, innocent babes, little sisters, who would never grow up to serve their colony any further than this night. Florin 42 shook as she stood between her elder sisters, her eyes dutifully planted forward just as she had been trained, and watched as the spider slurped and sipped upon the young she'd sworn to protect. Asker 84 stood stoically, unflinching, as she awaited the starved spider to finish his brutal devouring of the offerings. His mandibles tore open the supple, fatty flesh, popping them like berries that he needed to consume as quickly as possible. Finally, after his face now glistened with the gore of the larvae, he let out a shuddering sigh of pure, blissful contentness. The spider turned, peering up at the web, humming as he interpreted the patterns of ancient shiny sand. "Your answer is thus," he began, finally speaking. "The next storm of stinging rain will be in 15 sunsets." He hummed, moving to climb back up to his hidden perch to sleep off his meal. Asker 84 dipped her head, content with the answer, and turned to face the line of stone-faced soldiers, all stoic and resolute in their duties to their queen's will, save for one trembling sister, Florin 42. The march home was long. It almost, to Florin 42, seemed far, far longer than the march that led them into the stone forest earlier that night. Every moon, dozens of babes were simply given up to that monster, the crazed spider. Each sister was precious. Florin 42 had sworn her life to protecting Queen and colony, and now she was cursed to witness the night of asking until the day she died.